Hello and welcome to Everything E.M, your YouTube channel for Cambridge Environmental Management. In these content videos, we'll be covering the syllabus step by step so that we ensure that you know exactly what you need to know without wasting any valuable time. Let's do it. In the previous lessons, we looked at fossil fuels, energy demand, and ways to manage energy resources. Fracking links closely to these ideas because it's a method used to extract natural gas or petroleum from shale rock. Fracking can increase a country's energy supply, but it's massively controversial because it may also affect water supplies, ecosystems, local communities, and the atmosphere. You can find the latest syllabus documents on the Cambridge International website. I've also put the link in the description for you, but you can pause the video here to see what we'll be covering today. Fracking or hydraulic fracturing is the extraction of natural gas or petroleum from shale rock by breaking open the rock using water, sand, and chemicals. First, a well is drilled deep underground into a layer of shale rock. Often the drilling will start vertically and then turn horizontally so that more of the shale layer can be reached. A high pressure fluid is then pumped into the shale rock. This fluid contains water, sand, and chemicals. The pressure creates small cracks or fractures in the shale rock. The sand acts as a proppant. That means it keeps the cracks open until after they have formed. This allows trapped natural gas or petroleum to flow through the cracks and into the well where it can be collected at the surface. So let's make sure we know what each part has to do. The water carries the sand and the chemicals and provides the pressure needed to fracture the rock, while the sand keeps the cracks open so that the gas or oil can escape. The chemicals help reduce blockages, limit the friction, and keep the process working efficiently. So fracking, the word fracking comes from fracturing, because that's literally what we're doing. We're cracking the rock open. Fracking is what we can call a hot topic. It's heavily debated because it has both benefits and limitations. Let's start looking at those. Firstly, it will give us access to more natural gas and petroleum. Fracking allows companies to extract natural gas or petroleum from the shale rock that would otherwise be difficult to reach. This, of course, increases the amount of fossil fuels available, which will help us meet energy demand. They also have less pollution than coal because natural gas releases less carbon dioxide and fewer air pollutants than coal does. So replacing coal with natural gas will reduce air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. It increases the local energy supply, as we said before, which will increase a country's energy supply. This will reduce the need to import fossil fuels from other countries, which will improve energy security and stabilize energy prices because more fuel is available. Fracking can also create jobs in drilling, engineering, transport, construction, water supply, and support services. This can boost the local economy, especially in areas where employment opportunities are limited. The risk to groundwater might be lower than people have argued in the past. So supporters of fracking say that shale layers are often far below groundwater supplies. So contamination is less likely if the wells are properly constructed and sealed. Let's look at the limitations. which brings us to the freshwater supplies being contaminated. It's a major concern because the fracking fluid, the wastewater and the methane could all contaminate fresh water supplies. This can happen if the well casing is damaged, if the chemicals are spilled, or if polluted wastewater leaks into rivers and groundwater. If fresh water is contaminated, it can obviously be unsafe for people, for the livestock, crops, and damage ecosystems. Which brings us to the toxic chemicals. Fracking fluid contains chemicals that help the process work, but some of these chemicals are toxic. If they enter water or soil, they will harm organisms and affect human health. Methane leaks is another worry because the natural gas that can be harvested is mainly methane, and methane is a powerful greenhouse gas. If methane leaks during drilling or extraction or transport, it can contribute to climate change. This is a very important point because we tend to think that because it's a natural gas, it's safe for the environment, but important to remember that methane is one of the greenhouse gases. Fracking uses a huge amount of water. This can reduce the water available in the local communities. It can affect the agriculture, the local ecosystems, especially if it's taking place in dry areas. Fracking sites can create noise from drilling, the pumps, the machinery, and the trucks, and increased traffic can also create dust, air pollution, road damage, and disturbances to the local communities. Fracking requires well pads, access roads, pipelines, and storage areas, and this can fragment habitats, disturb the wildlife, and damage the natural landscapes. Fracking can also cause small tremors because high-pressure fluid changes the pressure underground. Wastewater injection can also increase earthquake risk in some areas. And then lastly, we don't actually know what the long-term impacts might be. We don't know how groundwater, ecosystems, and local communities will be affected. This makes fracking really difficult to assess fully before it begins. Let's finish by checking the two key definitions for this section. We've got fracking. This is the process of obtaining petroleum or natural gas from shale rock by breaking open the rocks using water, sand, and chemicals. And then next we've got proppant, which is a material such as sand that keeps the cracks in shale rock open so that the natural gas or petroleum can flow out. Right, make sure you can explain the process of fracking in order. So you drill into the shale rock, inject high pressure fluid, form cracks, sand keeps the cracks open, gas and petroleum escapes. And then remember, for the discuss question, you always want to include both the benefits and the limitations. Well done, you've now completed topic 1.6 Fracking, which means you've finished the whole of this chapter on natural resources. You can find study notes, the worksheet and flashcards on my website, link below in the description. If you have any questions, ask below. If not, I'll see you in the next lesson where we'll learn about soils and crop growth.